Dear viewers, another streaming event from Xnick doing Duels, and this time we are going to be focusing on the Timberpack Wolf card, a very, I would say, lame card. Of course, you can run 4 in a deck, and each Timberpack Wolf will buff himself and each other if you have other card like this on the battlefield, but for 2 mana, a 2/2. Not the best card, we can say. I think it's playable, and in the past I've tried to exploit this ability to do something powerful, but it requires a long setup in the board. So my idea was to ramp a lot, and then using the Flameshadow Conjuring try to cast multiple copies of the Timberpack Wolf on the same turn. We get to copy itself, and therefore we get lots of powerful tokens to hit the opponent. And I decided to give that idea a try because a lot of expansions have happened since that time. There's no more Monguli as it was to help us ramping, but we have, for instance, Saheeli Rai. We can create a copy of a similar effect from the Flameshadow Conjuring. We have Saheeli's Artistry. He can copy an artifact or a creature. The creature can be chosen from the opponents. So this card is actually really powerful, but also it comes at a high cost. Of course, we have a secret weapon that I have never used it on any deck, but I guess that in this instance of a deck might be of some use, the Bloodpyre Elemental. And well, we have fancy stuff with Displace effects to get the wolves out and in the battlefield repeatedly. Some wolf synergies such as the Howlpack Resurgence that has the important feature of giving trample to the wolves, and also we have Silverfur Partisan to spawn a lot of 2/2 tokens, regular ones, but anyways. So basically we are going to want to get there somehow. So but in this point of time, this is the testing stage of the deck, and we are not using many interactive cards. We pretty much want to play our cards regardless of what the opponent does. So the win rate is not going to be too high here, but we might get some luck in there. And of course, the Evolutionary Leap and the Flameshadow Conjuring makes a good duo, but we lack some ramping here. But there's some something to make up for it. So we have one Timberpack Wolf and the Evolutionary Leap and the Primal Druid. I think this hand is pretty decent for our plans. Not running too many basic lands in this deck. That's the reason for me not running many ramp spells, because most of them are going to be searching for basic cards, but we want to have access to red for the Flameshadow Conjuring and green for the Evolutionary Leap, so we require a lot of dual lands. Opponent, an aggressive, probably red-white artifacts deck. Here, can we cast the Primal Druid? I think not. Therefore, I'm going to play the. Alright, let's get the Evolving Wilds. So we can next turn we might choose if we want to drop something for 3, or otherwise drop the Wandering Fumarole. So if we get a forest or island, we are ready to drop this land. Probably the forest is nice. Let's see what we draw. Now the copter is going to be a 4/4 we are on a short clock here. I think we do not have time to go with the Timberpack Wolf plan in this deck. Is too quick for us. So we should abort our mission, but let's finish the game and proceed to the next one. So nothing to we have nothing to stop the opponent here, and he had a nice huge card. Probably he's missing red. What do we want? Do we want the forest? I think the mountain, because we already have 2 greens here. So I think that having the Primal Druid at least could potentially block the Chief of the Foundry. Yes, that's it. Well, next turn we could Wandering Fumarole and Nissa to get another land in hand. We can Nissa and drop the forest, but the untapped land is not going to do much for us. Opponent drawing out of the Alchemist, still missing the red. So he did return the Alchemist Vial to the hand, so he can draw again. We get hit for another 4. Yeah, that's pretty painful. The opponent draws, but now he should have found the mountain that he wants to. He dropped the Cultivator's Caravan, so he certainly has the lands he wants, and something much powerful is going to be showing up. So we are another option is to Evolutionary Leap, sacrifice the Druid. I think that's not a bad idea here. Yes, of course, it could be much better if we were against a less aggressive deck. So here, probably we want to block and sacrifice the Druid to find ourselves a forest. Maybe we have to use the Pulse of Murasa to stay on the game. So opponent almost forgot to crew, but no, he wants to get this one on defense. I'm not sure if that's too wise. Here, so he has no crew so far. Alchemist's Vial. So we could attack for 0, but probably it's not going to help us too much. And now he can crew the copter. Let's get ourselves another land, because we at the very least have the Pulse of Murasa, so we can fetch the... we got another Timberpack Wolf, so something good to look forward to. So we have 5 lands in play. Pulse of Murasa. Yeah, we're not going to tell the story for 3, so we can drop the Gorge. We can use this to recover the Primal Druid. Let's do it, because I was going to do it anyway. And well, at least she can block one of the attackers, but otherwise we still get the 4 from the air. +4, well, 2 in the ground, and the opponent might use something powerful here. Foundry Spectre. So the opponent got rid of the Cultivator's Caravan and kept this guy. It's very strange. Maybe he doesn't run mountains and he relies on Cultivator's Caravan to cast something else. So we are going to get a hit for at least 8 here. Opponent has 2 colorless mana open. So we pretty much are dead next turn. We can transform Nissa mid-combat, so Howlpack Resurgence. +1/+1 and trample. So let's drop the land. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Land goes. Opponent also has the Alchemist Vial, so we are losing one of the blockers. We can try to Timberpack Wolf and Howlpack, but the current mana available doesn't allow us to drop 2 Timberpack Wolf. So let's get the Nissa out. Yes, 1 please. Now the question, I think you probably want to have this one out. And we have a little combat trick here, but probably not going to save us, but we can try. We're not going to tell the story here. So let's. Okay, I can drop this. And well, just for the sum of at least we get to try this deck. We are going to pay, and we do that one again. We can't. Let's just attack. No, we can crew with this wolf. Yeah, not enough mana to do all our fancy stuff. Missing some red here, and just concede. We are dead anyways. Let's go again. So far we are. I think the draws, the card flow is fine. The other guys have been using very aggressive decks, and we have no means to stop such aggression. So probably the things that we want to add here are things like Radiant Flames, because we are running already 3 colors. Maybe some Fire Impulses, or some more ramping to get faster to our stuff. So nice cards, but no the mana that is going to let us use all the cards. Pretty much more amusing here. So we have to wait until turn 3. No, I did not say that. So let's begin with the Cinder Glade. Yes, Cinder Glade. That's correct. We drop the forest. We can drop the Primal Druid. Then we might try to get Saheeli. So we are against a more slower, at least 3-colored deck, probably running very powerful Planeswalkers. So the worst case scenario could be Nahiri killing our enchantments. Yes, but here I'm going to start on the aggression myself with a single Timberpack Wolf, and I do not think okay, Fire Impulse dismissed. This Silverpack Wolf made a tragic ending, so I'm not going to send the next one yet. Silverfur Partisan is fine. Opponent stuck on 2 lands apparently, so let's proceed. So since we still do not have the blue, the opponent might be thinking that we have a wolf deck. Here again, I think we have a chance because the opponent appears to be mana screwed here. So I'm going ahead with Saheeli. I love the picture of Saheeli. I think this is a very lovely drawn girl. Let's scry. If the scry is bad, no, the scry is really good, so we are going to keep that one at the top and do not play the Evolving Wilds. Yeah, let's do it like this and skip the attack. So Lifespring Druid. Okay, the opponent decided that he is not going to wait for more lands, and he runs counter spells, fiery impulses. I don't know why would he want to run white. Alright, so for sure, well, the thing is, Lifespring Druid is probably going to die really soon here. But we force the opponent to spend a spell to do so. Let's see. Do we want to scry first or crack the Evolving Wilds first? I think I'm going to use the Evolving Wilds first. Get forest. So maybe we want. Well, kind of hard to balance the forest or the mountains there. Let's scry. Top for sure. Let's skip the attack. Now, if we get so the Elvish Visionary is going to let us draw opponent with a weird looking deck. So I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish there. Let's go ahead with the Visionary. Probably, maybe I should have used Saheeli beforehand. Let's go with Nissa. Of course, we would like to flip Nissa, but if the opponent has more impulses to use, better to get them into Nissa. We want a copy of any of these. If we copy the Druid, we can drop the Timberpack Wolf, but yeah, that gets Saheeli. I think the scry is worth at this stage. It is a Visionary. I think this time I'm going to pass. And okay, let's attack. That's right. Well, the ultimate from Saheeli is not going to be too helpful in our deck because, well, the only artifact we have is the Cultivator's Caravan, and we are not interested into dropping Saheeli's loyalty that much. So here some fun can begin to happen. Yes, yes. Do we have the mana that we require? I think so. We can duplicate one of the Timberpack Wolves and send him into combat. Actually, we can make 2 copies of these ones. So that means we get 8 damage plus 3. That's 11 damage. So let's do it. Which one do we copy? I think it's not too relevant here. Yay! So it's somewhat working. Do we send Nissa there? Probably we do not, because sacrifice might happen. The opponent might force us to sacrifice a attacker, an attacking creature. So we lost 2 tokens. So if we had the Evolutionary Leap... No! The Radiant Flames! Why are you so mean? So yeah, because you want the Planeswalkers for sure, and this does not die. Alright. Well, let's see what's up next. Yeah, this actually really good. Wandering Fumarole, and we can copy the Silverfur Partisan. That I think it's worth to do. So we hit for 2. And next turn we can bring the Timberpack Wolf from the graveyard, or Nissa also, but well, what is more fun? Okay, everyone knows Nissa, we know that she's powerful, we are pretty familiar with her. Let's get the wolves and see if we get to do something fancy with them. So opponent finally getting some lands, but despite all his removal, we are still getting the wolves in there. So, but we cannot also use the Howlpack Resurgence. But okay, we will require much more mana to do so. But here we get a single copy of this, and now a token. We are going to create a token that's a copy of the token. So if token also got the artifact subtype, because that's the Saheeli rule, and here we finish this opponent. But well, we can say that the mana screw did the winning for us this time. So pretty terrible to see these enchantments go away. Why do people run enchantment removal? Why do they want to kill us? Don't you want to see our deck? Can you not just not play stuff and let us do everything that we want? Let's see. Here, I think we are meeting a very original deck. Perhaps white humans or something similar to that. Decent hands with the lands, but not much going on. We have the Flameshadow Conjuring to begin with, but well, too many tapped lands. I'm going to take the risk. I think this is not a good hand, but I was afraid that the next mulligan would be a little bit worse, and having the Visionary out is going to really help our cause. So let's start with the Timber Gorge or the Lumbering Falls or the Fumarole, and I think the Timber Gorge. So in case we draw an island, we can still play the Visionary, and we have all the colors for next turn. But in case we do not draw a untapped land, we just can play another tapped land here. Evolving Wilds. Yes, I think it's going to be Evolving Wilds because some of the check lands are going to be looking at our basics on play. Opponent, always watching. It's going to be horrible, and the opponent running cohort cards. Yeah, pretty bad. So let's find ourselves. We are going to be having 2 reds and 2 greens. Let's get another mountain, just in case we need to copy any of our cards. Wandering Fumarole. Stop. First, Elvish Visionary. Sulfur Falls. Good thing we have the mountain out. And okay, Lumbering Falls it is. Because we might need to attack with the Lumbering Falls at some point. Bloodpyre Elemental might save us if we survive Lumbering, but I think I'm willing to spend one of the Essence Flux to block with the Visionary and draw again. Or we have the Pulse of Murasa actually. Let's just block here. Opponent has black here, so quite likely he's going to be running lots of cohort cards. Maybe another life gain match, but the always watching is means that we are going to lose really soon here. So this is not going to do us any good. Pulse of Murasa might bring the Elvish Visionary back later on. Okay, these 2 enter tapped. So if I want the Flameshadow, okay, let's do Flameshadow Conjuring this turn. Let's hope the opponent is not exiling or destroying this enchantment. The cohort lets the opponent gain life, and since his guys have vigilance, he can do it after attacking. Yeah, a very powerful play. And the Celestial Healer to makes matters worse, and of the veins. So can we survive for another turn? If we had another untapped land, we might, but now I don't see it. Okay. Only hope if the opponent not attacking with everything out of scare of possibly the Lumbering Falls. We only hope if the opponent being careful and not attacking with all of them. We lose one out of the Uranus Emissary. So he hits us for 8. Let's give the Elvish Visionary another try. We are at 11. Come on, please give me a mountain game. We want a mountain, please, 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 please. Mountain, mountain, mountain. Mountain. No, it's not a mountain. Can we do something with the Elvish Visionary? So imagine this was an untapped land. Things could be so cool if that were the case, because we dropped the Bloodpyre Elemental. We could pay 1 red to copy this guy. So we have 2 of them. Yeah. Pretty much unlikely to save us, but now we can't do much here. Yeah, well, that was slow. Yeah, well, it turns out that a deck that lets the opponent do whatever he wants has a little low winning rate. Therefore, we are going to be saying goodbye to this version of the deck, and next time we're going to be trying something more reliable to try to manipulate whatever the opponent is doing. So I hope you have enjoyed anyways, and stay tuned for the next iteration of the deck, and let's hope that we get something cooler and also get the wolves into the attack mode for the time being. I hope you have a good time. Forget that I say that strangely sounding phrase. Anyways, my desire is that you are enjoying, and sayonara.